Hello, I am back after 3 years. I was in a nurse administration job that took all of my time. I wasn't able to post, and now that I have the ability, one of my goals for 2023 is to start posting again and making the content. So, if you're here, thank you. I appreciate you giving me the time. If you have ideas, please send them my way. If you want to do the notifications and subscribe thing, please do that. And tell your family, tell your friends, all of those things. The channel is probably going to have a bit of a turn and focus more on mindfulness, mental health awareness, mental health issues, addiction, all that kind of stuff. Self growth is incredibly important to me, and I want to share that with the world. So, still will be doing videos about nursing and medical things and the way things look kind of in the background, behind the scenes of the medical community, things like that. Um, without further ado, I had a couple of things I wanted to share with you today. The first is a book that I was introduced to at the end of last year, and the person that introduced this book to me is incredibly important to me, and I will never be able to thank him enough for opening my eyes and taking me through this journey. It's called Codependent No More by Melody Beatty. This is the copyright 2022 version. It's been through a few different revisions. It's been around for decades. She is a recovering addict, and so a lot of this is geared towards the realm of, are you a codependent person who has in your life an addict and what that looks like? But this book is for anybody and everybody, and I encourage people all of the time when I'm hearing things, when we're having conversations, and it sounds like that might be in the realm of codependency, I lovingly suggest this book as a resource. And I'm not quite done with it. I'll be finished with it by the end of January for sure. I needed a break. The book is written simply, and it's not boring. It's easy to read. The content is hard to digest. So I would say, as a disclaimer, be sure that you're in a place where you're ready to do some deep dives emotionally. This is going to put you face to face with maybe some hard truths that you didn't know you needed to face. Probably better yet, that you have a therapist that you can walk through these topics with on a regular basis and kind of get that third party non biased feedback as you take this journey. She talks a lot about how codependency can show up, the things that you might do if you are a codependent. And one of the hardest pills for me to swallow was saying the words out loud as I was doing the first part of the book was, I am a codependent, and how does that show up for me? What does it look like? How do I do some different things by reframing the way I think and the way I do things so I don't have to mess with that anymore? It's been an incredibly self loving kind of journey as I shed some of these habits that have served me not at all. Important for me to note that if you are an empathic person like I am, it's going to give you definitely this perspective of, you don't have to not care for people. Like, it's not about throwing people away and not helping them through things, but definitely giving you the ability to consciously say, I'm only going to accept this piece, I'm only going to be able to give this much, or I'm not responsible for this at all, I'm going to stay out of it. Like, it just phrases things so well. And it's been such a huge help for me. So I present this potential gift to you as well. The second thing is therapy in general. Become a huge, huge advocate for finding a therapist. I've been kind of two different bouts of time, and I'm getting ready to go back actually this month. And I would say it was scary the first time. I think that I was in a place before where if you couldn't solve the problem on your own, then tough shit, you should be able to. Like, you should be able to draw on your own strength and people around you and be fine. You don't need a therapist to tell you any of that stuff. So, going the first time, definitely scary. Forming the therapeutic relationship was, you know, you have to work at it. But I will say, definitely life changing. I wasn't told how to think. I wasn't told how to feel. The therapeutic relationship, in my opinion, should be one of trust and mutual respect, and definitely where you're not told what you're thinking or feeling. Rather, you're allowed to ask the questions and kind of be led through more questions to get to your own answer about whatever the problem may be, whatever the concern is, whatever you need to reconcile, um, who you want to be as a person, where you want your life to go as a person. So, as far as what it is, it's not a scary thing. I think once you are able to find a therapeutic relationship that works for you, it's incredibly cathartic and helpful and healthy to do. And I will say that the time between me having a therapist, like going to therapy, I should say, over time, things start to get a little muddy, and then life events happen to you. And so uh, you start having this background noise that you didn't have before when you were in therapy that you kind of shows up again, if that makes sense. And so I would say stay the course. You may not find the right therapist for you the first time, and while that sucks, there is someone out there that can formulate a very healthy, trusting, therapeutic relationship with you that is going to work for you. It's sort of like how you will share more intimate details with certain people and less with others because of just this connection that you have with them. It sort of works the same way with a therapist. Like you have to jive. And it's okay for either one of you to terminate the therapeutic relationship at any time, and you shouldn't feel pressured to stay in it if you don't feel like it's beneficial to you. Another good resource, like I could go on and on and on, but another good resource if you are wondering about the therapy world and how it works, the ethics behind it, how the community should behave, what to expect. There is a wonderful, amazing woman named Mickey Atkins. She has her own YouTube channel, and she's a therapist, and she talks about therapist-y things. And she does a really good job at like breaking it down. She typically will use things that are happening on YouTube or in social media to kind of parallel how therapy should be, like what it should look like. So you do get kind of more of a wider scope as to maybe what to expect if you're someone that's thinking about going to therapy. I will say also just how you have to be ready to go through this book. You need to be ready to go to therapy. It's not something that you can kind of half-ass. You should make sure that you are in it and you want to work on yourself and you're ready to take those deep dives emotionally and start that journey, or it won't work and you're wasting money. Mickey Atkins. So yes, so very good resource there for all of that therapist-y kind of stuff. Also, she does a really good job reviewing YouTube channels that have to do with Christian fundamentalism. Her and I agree that it is incredibly destructive and traumatic. And so, if you know someone who is going through that, or maybe you're going through it yourself, that she is a great resource for that too. Kind of deconstructing the the ways that Christian fundamentalism can be so destructive and traumatizing. So I believe that is it for now. I am 5 by 5. Be the change and make it count.